All right, you guys. You already know the KFS family. Hey, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Know For Sure podcast. I am B.Simone.
And I am Megan Ashley.
And we're back.
Okay.
All right. Okay. I get so excited. Woo! Y'all, matter of fact, as good as I think Harmony sounds, we literally were in the car freestyling, going in. You hear me? We literally was like, we could write music. Like, we need a Grammy. Like, what? Our harmonies are wild. Ashley was recording. We played that shit back. We was like, yo, what the fuck do we be hearing when we be harmonizing? It was really Ashley, though.
I was about to say, I think it was Ashley.
Yeah, she was behind the camera, and her mouth was the closest to the mic.
And she can't sing.
And she cannot fucking sing.
But that's okay.
It's fine. Yeah, you did. And
tried.
next
And you
time,
did,
you
but
just
that's
film. And you let us harmonize.
Next time, lip sync.
Lip sync. Y'all, we have a guest with us today. You have probably seen her on my platform. Me and Megan did a webinar with her. Mm-hmm. Relationship coach, magnetic matchmaker, S.P.I.C.Y Mighty.
Yes. So happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes. We were like, our podcast is about relationships, healing, growing, evolving, being better. We gotta have you on the show.
Yeah. Let me help them become better.
We gotta have you come talk. I'm so excited. I'll tell y'all a little bit about our history. I called her my therapist. I was like, she's my therapist. She's like, I am not a damn therapist. But it really what
we've done a lot of therapy too, though.
I was one of her 24-hour clients. Like, she's like, if you get tempted and you want to have sex with a stranger, you text me and you go home. Like, it was very like
I got 2 a.m. calls from you, like, spicy. Are you up?
I'm like, so this nigga's in town and he said, come over. What do I do? She's like, go to sleep.
But not with him.
Yeah. So she is like a relationship coach, and she actually helped me through like a relationship when I was dating and, was with somebody, and we had like relationship coaching with her, and I feel like I learned a lot, but I'm not gonna lie. I need to retake the course. I feel like I need to refresh my memory and really try to be intentional and apply this stuff to my everyday life, because I feel like I'm still walking in my masculine.
Agreed.
Agreed.
But like,
she's like, I can see your ass on Instagram,
like,
chasing Soulja Boy.
This is what happens. Sometimes individuals will come into the program just for their own self-growth, which is what you originally did when you came to the spicy life. But then along the way, you were like, ooh, I need him to hear this. And ooh, I want, my ex to be a part of this. Mm-hmm. And so, of course, he wasn't your ex at the time. So you started bringing him into our sessions, which was perfectly fine. But then it turned into like helping you guys each time work through the challenges of the relationship versus like your personal journey. Yeah. So it was just like, we transitioned, and that's okay because we're going to transition back. But, so let's like put that out there. But I think you've grown a lot, though, in that even interim period.
Yeah. Because what Spicy does, she helps people find their purpose mate. Correct. You want to tell them a little bit about who you are and what you do?
So as a relationship expert and magnetic matchmaker, what I do is help people based on my spicy method. So I developed a method in my master's program where the 5 key ingredients that you need for a healthy relationship are self, passion, intimacy, communication, and learning to say yes. So like self is your self-discovery, your self-growth, helping you reach self-actualization, self-love. A lot of us don't understand self-worth. Mm-hmm. And then self-esteem is like the main part of self. Mm-hmm. Passion is how you bring happiness and joy to your life, and then also how you bring it to others. And then intimacy is how you connect, how you bond, how you open up in vulnerability, how you also bring it out of others. A lot of us have a really hard time with intimacy because we're not emotionally available, but yet we want someone emotionally available, and we don't know how to help them get there because we weren't given the tools in our adolescence or in our adulthood. So we're going off of what we learned from our ex, who probably didn't know either, right? Because that's really what happens. Your relationships from your past shape you. The next part of the program that I teach is communication. Which is really how you deliver the message.
Okay, so the spicy life, what you do, tell us all about that. Like, who is spicy?
Let's do it. So, I help singles and couples track their purpose mate and keep their purpose mate.
Okay.
And so what that looks like is me coaching you through a 90-day program where I take you through my spicy fundamentals. And what these are the 5 ingredients that you need for a healthy relationship.
Okay.
So S is for self, okay? This is self-awareness, self-regulation. It deals with self-worth, self-esteem. I'm helping you with self-discovery. Then we go through P, which is passion, and that's really helping you understand like what brings you joy in life, what makes you happy. Also, how do you create that for others? Intimacy is about bonding, connecting, how you make someone feel safe, secure, vulnerable. A lot of people want someone who is emotionally available, but they aren't. So really helping you understand what it looks like to emotionally guide a partner and also become available and vulnerable at your own self. And then communication is how you deliver that message, right? Understanding your target audience, which is your lover, and what is the message that they need in order to understand your delivery. And sometimes we would just want to be like our normal self when it comes to communication. Well, I talk to my mama like this, and I talk to my sister and brother like this. Why can't I talk to him or her like this?
He might not receive it.
They don't receive it that way. So we have to understand ourselves to know what we're delivering, and then also understand our partner and what they need to hear, right? And what language can we put that in? And it really comes to understanding the male and female psyche. The next element is yes. So that's the Y in spicy. And that is understanding, how to conquer your fears. And oftentimes we will say no when it comes to things that we are afraid of, things that, force us to step outside of our comfort zone. And we have a lot of limiting beliefs. So it's really helping you understand what's holding you back from love and relationship. And then also, what does it look like? Should we give into that in a healthy way? And really just unpacking, right? Like those things that, are we operating from a place of fear, or are we operating from a place of love? Do you understand the art of negotiation, of compromise? What are you willing to sacrifice in this world in order to get what you want?
Do you only do this in romantic relationships or platonic too?
So haven't had anybody yet who's like, can you just help me become a better friend? Usually people come to me and they're like, I'm ready for love, or I have a lover and I want this relationship to work.
Or I want to find my purpose.
Right. In the interim of us working together, because I'm giving you the 5 ingredients for a healthy relationship, your business becomes better because now you know how to work with clients,
family,
your children, family, communication with your partner, but also with friends, with, family colleagues. Like you start liking coworkers you never knew you could, tolerate before. So you're learning the tools for, so that you can also have healthier relationships in all facets of your life. Your relationships are a reflection oftentimes of your happiness. Like if you have healthy relationships, studies show like you are a happier person. So that's all that I want for this world. That's all that I want is people to be in loving, happy relationships and also to restore the family unit. That's my mission.
And we talked about that in the episode. We were like, oh, restore the family unit. I love that you always say that. You're like, restore the family unit.
But what does that mean for you, or what does that look like when you say restore the family unit?
So I feel like, and it's not just an emotion when I say feel, because I'm also very like science-based as well, right? There's like...
Well, hold on. I'm sorry. I don't want to interrupt. But we do this every episode. Megan made our drinks.
Oh, you want to?
I'm sorry. We didn't even cheers. Like
before we get into
and
it,
celebrate you for being here.
Eye contact.
Cheers.
Eye contact. There you go. Pretend like we're clinking, but I need that eye contact.
All right. What's in this?
Yum. I'm tasting pear, hints of mint.
It's giving sparkling cider.
Do I see some? I think I see some cilantro in here. Did you do that because I'm spicy?
So it's mint and like a nectarine and lemonade, like a raspberry lemonade.
I love that we have like real fruit in here.
It's fire.
So I'm getting some antibodies or
I'll get nutrients.
Try to balance out the liquor.
If you're gonna have alcohol, bitch, bite that tangerine too.
Right. Get your fruit.
I'm like,
no, they love Megan's drinks. I just wanted to cheers.
It's yummy. I said antibodies because it may cure diseases, but I really meant antioxidants. So this drink is a cure for everything. Thank you, Megan, for the drink. It's delicious.
Okay, so yeah.
Okay, so restoring the family unit. What does that look like, or what does that mean?
So to give you guys like some context of why that's so important to me, and then I'll give you like what that means to me. I grew up in a single parent home. Like that was my first, initiation to what a family unit looks like. And unfortunately, I was one of those children that knew that I had a different family structure. It was like very obvious to me that I was missing a piece of what I believed to be the love that I should have, right? Father wasn't there. Mom was married 3 times because understood like, oh, when mom is happier, she's in a relationship. Oh, we have more toys when mom is in a relationship. Like more food when mom is in a relationship. I'm going to restaurants I've never been. So I'm introducing my mom to different men as a child, like going to the grocery store, like, hey, I'll be a good little girl. Look how hot my mom is, because my mom is a straight MILF. And she was getting, you know, a fabulous dating life. And I really, like, I saw the power of relationship. But her self-worth was also wrapped in relationship. And so because her happiness was around
missing the S.
Yes, she was missing the S. And she saw like, oh, wow, my daughter has a gift. I need to make sure that I point this energy in the right direction so she doesn't, like, make the same mistakes that I do. So she was the person who really pushed me to, like, get educated in this, right? Like, you're naturally hooking people up. You love setting your aunties up. You love setting your friends up. And me, like,
you ain't never set me up. Let's get to that. Let's get to that. I ain't been on a date in a year.
You know what? I do need to set you up. Because, yeah, babe, because when I was working with you, you were in a relationship. And
you're like, trying to get our lives
You're
right.
like, help me with this relationship.
No, you're right. Then you were like, bitch, you need a heel. Why you trying to go get them set up?
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
She said yes.
Okay.
I like that we understand the awareness component.
Right.
Yeah, honesty.
But
she's like, really? I don't know no nigga that would want to fuck with you, bitch.
At this phase of your life.
I think
Get your
all
shit
the men
together.
I know are mature. So.
B, I think that there's still like a process for it. I think
so
that you let me assess. Let me.
Okay,
I need
get to
updates.
that.
I need
Okay,
updates
we'll get to that.
to see
But
where
I'm
you're
sorry.
at if you're
I'm
ready
sorry.
to date.
I just had to get that off my chest.
No, I want you to have everything that your heart desires. Like, and I
sure.
want to help you with that, right? But when it comes to understanding what a family is, we all can define that differently. There is no right or wrong, but
whatever
for
you
me,
desire, yeah.
And what my clients come to me for is helping them have like at least 2-parent household and making sure that their children grow up with a balance of masculine and feminine energy in the household, okay? And so I didn't have that. So I grew up with a very strong mother who had to overcompensate for the masculine energy in the household. My family also culturally is Black and Mexican. So my mom already had this like boss ass attitude by any means necessary. And she instilled that in me, thank God. And we'll speak to like energy in a little bit because that's a whole nother tangent. But when it comes to restoring the family unit, I feel like we have lost the value of what it looks like to have partnership in the home and what it looks like to respect companionship.
Yeah.
I think that we want it because it makes our lives a little bit easier, or we want it because we want to feel good about ourselves, or we want it because we think we need it to feel
Or
whole.
that feeling, or
We want the butterflies and the bubble gum and the raindrops. But when it comes to the family unit, I think that there is a lot of responsibility that people don't want. I
Yeah.
think that because, and I'm not going to blame this on baby boomers, but it is their fault. The divorce rate being so high and us growing up with so many single parents and seeing like the divorce, and how it affects our upbringing, we're now afraid to commit on that level. We're afraid to give ourselves fully. And when I say give ourselves fully, I hear a lot of rhetoric about you can still be in a happy relationship and not be married. And for
do
me,
you believe that?
I do
Not being happy, but do you believe in like lifetime partners and not marriage?
I believe that you can be happy in lifetime partnership and not be married. However, usually one partner does want the traditional marriage and the other person is saying like, well, I don't believe
I'm
in
good
that.
with this.
And
Yeah.
so one of us will compromise, usually us being women, will compromise and not get that need met or that desire met because we want to be in relationship so bad with that person, but we have different values.
Yeah.
And I'm about you being with somebody who has the same core values. And part of why I also believe in marriage still is because I feel like we need the ultimate commitment. And so if you're saying like, I'll be your life partner, but I won't sign on the dotted line, when I reference like, well, what about your money? Will you take that gig or that job without
the
signing on the dotted
contract?
line?
Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
you to work for me. I want you to come to my company.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you like, some of this benefits package.
Yeah.
But we're not gonna sign a contract with
Yeah.
you. Or,
Yeah.
we'll make you, a record, but you're not gonna sign anything to guarantee that,
Yeah.
you're here
It
for the
ever
long
comes
term.
out.
Nothing
whatever.
Yeah.
that's binding you to your commitment.
Yeah, and I think
Or
that
holding
binding
you accountable to your
yes,
commitment.
I think that
Yeah.
the binds is the ultimate like yes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so clearly there's some fear fears that are holding you back if you don't want to be in partnership. And usually what that fear is the fear of losing your freedom, losing your liberty. And why it's so important to spice your relationship up is because we have demonized and made relationships look so scary. It's almost if they're like jail, like a death sentence.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's just that people don't know how to behave in relationship because they didn't have an example. They didn't know how to make relationships fun. They didn't know how to not lose themselves in relationship or become all about your career or all about, you know, the kids.
Or you learn it from your toxic homegirl.
Yeah. Or
who don't know either.
Right.
Asking her for advice. She don't know. Okay.
I'm gonna say, who you looking at?
I'm looking at them. I'm looking at the
I'm
people
like,
watching us.
geez.
I'm talking to y'all. Because you asking old girl that's hoeing. She don't know. Okay?
Okay, so there are so many things that you just said that I feel like I want to unpack, and we could be here for probably days.
I saw the
Megan's-
wheels.
I know.
I don't know if you saw. I'm
restoring
like,
the
I can
family
tell
unit.
when Megan's wheels are turning.
yeah. So I just want to kind of like word vomit real quick, and then break down a lot of points that you made, because you made a lot of good points that I feel like are happening right now. The first thing you said about people in relationships, I'll just say how I feel. I feel like we do well in the beginning parts of relationships because our egos are getting stroked. We're doing everything to make each other feel good.
Yep.
So in that interim phase of a relationship, your ego is just being stroked because you like them, and they like
That
you.
feeling,
And it's like, he immediately texted me back. He called me. He sent me flat.
Yep.
You know, it's this stroking of this ego, and then once that moves into, okay, I like this. Maybe we can keep this going. Now we're in a relationship. And that ego still kind of gets stroked for a little bit. And then once it's time to commit to something else, by that time, life has happened.
Yep.
And now you're no longer stroking my ego, which happens in marriages. And this is why I feel like a lot of marriages fail, is because now we're operating in a space where we're wanting our ego to be stroked, but it's not about you right now.
Yep.
Right.
We got these bills.
Yep.
We got these
Yep.
kids.
Yep.
You got that job. The car's
Yeah.
messed up. You know what I'm
It's a
saying? So
lot.
there's like, I don't have time to stroke your ego right
Yeah.
now. We got real life stuff to do.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's why relationships fall apart quick, or
Because you're depending on that.
because you're not. You want your ego. We're so egotistic.
Like
sure.
that Lauren, what's that Lauren Hill
like,
quote? When people stop stimulating us, we stop loving them.
Yeah,
Like
you're just stroking the ego,
Yeah.
and then once your ego stops getting stroked, it's like, you don't love me, and
keep
things are
stroking mine.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's like how you find the balance of, and maybe that's why they say keep the spice in your relationship, try new things, date each other.
Right.
I've been married for 12 years, so I get it.
Yeah.
It's easier said than done.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you look up and 12 years then went by.
Yep.
And you like, damn, when the last time we went on a date? When the
Right.
last
Yep.
time you sent me fly?
Right.
You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
Right.
So that part of it is like, how do you operate in the interim phase, not getting so accustomed to your ego being stroked? All right, you guys, before we continue with this episode, we got to pay some bills. This episode is brought to you by Clinique and their brand new product, the Clinique Even Better Clinical Dark Spot Interrupter.
So you guys, if you have dark spots, it can often feel like a vicious cycle. As soon as one fades, another one pops up. Break the cycle with Clinique Even Better Clinical Dark Spot Interrupter. This powerful serum works on melanin-rich to fair skin and helps visibly correct dark spots, such as acne marks, while protecting from future discoloration.
Okay, you guys, I've used a ton of products, and what I love most about this is that it's oil-free, alcohol-free, sulfate-free, paraben-free, and fragrance-free.
And I love it because it's a powerful brightening serum from melanin-rich to fair skin to visibly improve uneven skin tone and interrupt the look of future dark spots.
Get your Even Better Clinical Dark Spot Interrupter today, available at Clinique.com. Again, that's Clinique.com. Get your product today. Now back to the episode. Or operating in that, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't want that part out of it. So I think that is a huge part that we aren't evolved enough to rid ourselves of, okay? Relationships can be very transactional, and I think that it's too much to ask us as a society to just do it because, or just do it, you know, for unconditional love. No, love has conditions. So in exchange for this act of service, or in exchange for feeding your love language, I want this in return. And while studies do show that, like, if you just do it for pure joy and happiness, that you will feel more fulfilled, that's unrealistic. Like, there's not that much therapy in the world that will get us there. So what I prefer to help couples with is stroking the ego, right?
So you're saying it should be transactional.
I'm saying that it's unrealistic for it not to be.
Got
I'm not
you.
saying should.
It
I'm
should.
saying
Got you.
let's talk
realistic.
reality
Okay,
versus
got you.
fantasy.
Got you.
And a lot of times we want to speak in fantasy.
Like, I figure out what I could do for you. You figure out what you could do for me.
Right.
You know,
because
what you need,
that's
what I
the point
need
of partnership. Like, where do you balance me?
How are
do
we
you
benefiting each other
help
in some
me
type of way?
Expand. Self-expansion is where do you grow me? And I think that we miss out on that, because a part of self-expansion is you continuously growing yourself, finding things that you love, then teaching and exposing your partner to those things. But what happens in relationship is we get so obsessed with our tasks that we stop pouring into ourselves.
We stop growing.
We stop growing. Therefore, we become unattractive to our partner. Because originally, I signed up for this because you were going to grow me. You grew me in the beginning, and then you stopped after we had the kid, or you stopped after you got that job offer. And now I'm not becoming the best version of myself because you're my partner, and you're not becoming the best version of yourself.
Right.
So now you ain't as sexy as you used to be. Like, yeah, you still got a nice juicy booty.
Right.
But I want that person who's going to take me to the next level in my life. And when we stop working on self and focusing on self and introducing new things to the relationship, we also have less to talk about. We have less shared activities and hobbies that we're experiencing. So a part of helping your relationship also be spicy, when you learn the tools that I offer at the Spicy Life, is understanding how important self-image is. So if I understand that you need to be affirmed, or that your
love language,
right? So it's even deeper than love language. Like, love language is like a simple way.
Okay.
Let's go like deep, and I'm gonna get like a little bit theoretical on you. Self-determination theory. So I'm gonna break that down in like layman terms for you. So in order for you to feel the need or the motivation to do for your partner, or to reach, to perform whatever act your partner is performing for you, you need to understand what motivates your partner. So if I know that a part of self-determination theory is, and what I'm giving y'all is some nuggets right now, so pay attention, is you need to feel related and connected to me, okay? You need to feel competent at the job that you're doing, and you need to feel also supported, and you need to feel intrinsic motivation.
What does that mean?
So,
Jesus.
Okay,
Intrinsic.
so
Make sure you guys put the definition at the bottom.
You're about to say something. I don't know what you're talking about. So I'm still at the end. I need to redo your course, because I'm like, I ain't never gonna get a nigga.
had you done your
this shit.
homework,
I know.
you would know all
Okay.
these things. But
All right. Teach me again.
This is like chapter 6. So when it comes to self-determination, I'll break it down. Like, relatedness is being connected to your partner, like bonding with your partner and understanding what makes them feel good.
Yeah.
The competence is telling your partner all the time, good job. So if I want you to go throw the trash, I'm not going to tell you when you come home, you didn't throw the trash today. I'm going to say, I love it when you help me with our home chores, or these tasks at hand. Or, you're such a phenomenal effing father. Like, I love when you help me, change his diapers. That's going to motivate him to do the thing that I want him to do versus telling him what he's not doing. And we don't take that time.
Ooh, that's a mind trick.
Yes.
Let me
yes.
take notes.
I
love when
next
But
element-
are you doing that? Are you doing that?
Really, really quick, KFS fam, before we move on, it's your girl B.Simone, and I will be starring in Bounce TV's new hit series, Finding Happy. I'm so excited. I will be playing your girl Yaz. She's an amazing Black woman in Atlanta trying to find love, career, purpose, and she's trying to find her happy. So make sure you guys tune in to Bounce TV on September 24th. And, on this love life, Yaz needs y'all to help her find a man. So y'all got to help her choose, but you only going to be able to help her choose if you tune in. September 24th, you guys, only on Bounce TV. I'm so excited. Love you guys. Back to the show.
When you do that, is it genuine or is that manipulation?
Who cares? Who cares if I'm getting my way in the relationship? If I'm making you feel good, and I'm in a bad mood and I don't really feel like making you feel good, but I'm going to get you to help me with whatever it is that I need, or I'm going to get the hugs and kisses or whatever it is that my goal is, right? If I'm going to get my goal and my need met, who
It's like
cares?
honest manipulation.
Yeah.
Right. It's and I don't
Or
want to use the word, I don't
it's
want to use
not
the word
manipulation. It's being strategic about your
It's
approach.
strategy.
Healthier instead of being like, you don't never change his diapers.
Yeah,
I like when
absolutely.
Everything
Absolutely.
is strategic with my process.
Yeah.
So it's not so much as like I'm taking advantage or I'm trying to, trick him in this moment. Because nobody wants to feel tricked or as if they're being played.
Right.
What we are human, and we want to be made to feel good.
Yeah.
And even if I don't feel like performing this or saying this or doing this in this moment to make you feel good about yourself, because I committed to a relationship and I committed to partnership, I'm gonna override my emotion and do what better serves the relationship goal.
Yeah.
And the other element that really
And you try to do that as often as possible. That doesn't happen all the time.
all the time.
Oh, Jesus.
But you have to train yourself for that. Like, this is why people
Right,
need help and
right.
coaching, because it doesn't come naturally to you,
Right.
and it feels robotic at first. It
Right.
feels like, but I don't want to do this. You don't want to go to work, but you like the results of money in your pocket. You like YSL bags, and you
Right.
like being able to put your kid in private school, or
Right.
whatever it is that you like. You override that emotion for the greater good.
That temporary emotion.
And if you do it in the beginning and you implement that in the beginning,
Correct.
then when you get to a committed partnership, whether that's marriage or like, yo, I'm not fucking with nobody, you not fucking with nobody, we're gonna ride this thing out together, then the work isn't work. As
Right.
it's still
Both of
work,
y'all
but
are
it's
doing
not.
It becomes like
but
breathing.
Yeah, it's just this is what we've been doing.
It becomes
So
like
then
breathing.
it doesn't have to. Then when life takes its course,
You know
you've
how to
already
maneuver.
established the foundation of how we communicate, how we deal with each other. So that way, no matter what is thrown at us, this is our process.
It becomes learned behavior, right?
Yeah.
Like you're practicing. So like you hit it dead on. You do it also with your friends. Don't just practice with your partner. Do it with your friends. Do it with your mama who gets on your nerves, or your next door neighbor who gets on. Like, we do it with everybody, so it just becomes our way of being. And some people will say like, well, that's fake. My neighbor gets on my nerves and I don't want to talk to them that way. Do you like getting your way?
Do you want the
I
do you
take
want
it
the
back to
job
that.
Just because you don't
Yeah.
like
Do you
somebody
like-
doesn't mean you don't have to be nice to them.
Let me tell you,
Or, I
threw my son a birthday party on Saturday, and the balloon people were there, and their big old U-Haul was blocking the front of our the neighbor's house driveway, and I went over there, and like, even though I felt like I didn't need to apologize or communicate what the expectation of the day was. There's going to be a ton of kids running around, like, I hope you're okay with that. I did that because I understood I need to plant these seeds so that his ego or his mindset doesn't wind up messing up my day and everything that I planned. So I went over there humbly, little kissy, oh, please come to the party. I would love for you to meet my prince. All of that because it made him feel good. And in return for that vibration, there was the exchange of go ahead and blow your jumper up in the middle of the my driveway.
Right.
And you're inviting them to participate.
Correct.
So
I bring
like
him
when
in.
when you're trying to get your
Right.
partner to do something, you're by being aware of how they receive motivation and how they're motivated, you're inviting them into the process. So now
Correct.
this is something that we are doing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Instead of something that is forced on you.
Correct. Correct.
So now
Megan
it feels
sees
better.
through it.
Yeah. I'm
Megan
still
says-
learning. I'm still
Well, because I've done all the wrong shit. So
I know what
I've
not to
done
do.
it all
I feel like
wrong.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
was that wife that's, I was the stay-at-home mom that was used to working and became a stay-at-home
Yeah.
mom. And then he
Yeah.
came home and I'm like, you know what I mean? And it's like, he don't want to come home hearing that shit neither.
Yeah.
So it's like being strategic about how you approach certain situations. And
Communication
also
part, yeah.
the part about what motivates your partner is like being aware and watching how they respond to
studying
stuff.
your
Correct.
person. Yeah,
Correct.
studying
What
your
makes
person,
this
knowing
man
your person.
move?
Yeah.
What makes them,
If you don't understand what makes your man get his ass up and do for you, you don't know how to guide your man. And I say guide, I don't say train. You don't know how to guide him, right? Because guide is like more softer. It's, let me help lead you without making you feel like you're being told what to do.
Like you're making the decision on your own.
Correct.
So then
Yeah.
who leads in a relationship, a man or a woman? Because it sounds to me that it's like we give the illusion that they lead, but really we're the ones leading. Okay, I'm just making sure. I'm like, am I reading this right?
She's like,
okay.
women do. You
know
let
what I'm
them
saying?
think.
I'm just saying, because men want that. I feel like a lot of men are like, you don't know how to, women don't know how to make, let men lead and submit. Yeah. But it's like, from what I'm hearing from you, as an expert, it sounds like women have more control and power than
we give ourselves
credit for.
For sure.
It's just learning how to do that.
If we think about like ancient times, like queens used to speak into the ear of kings and move. We can make you go to war if we want to, right? Just by like the words we say. But we've taken our power for granted. And we've also been convinced that we don't have the power that we actually have by believing that we have to be so focused on competition with other women, or by believing that there's not enough men to go around. So if the culture is now lending to the idea or the notion that there's not enough for relationship and we feel starved, we will feed off whatever we can get.
Whatever you get.
Correct. So we're no longer,
this is the best I can get.
Yeah, we're no longer operating as our best selves and in a position of power. We're now thirsty and we're like, okay, whatever it is to be in this relationship, versus understanding like we're out here choosing, not them. But they have convinced us, because not all of them, have been committed, or, we're also operating from like our wounded masculine and wounded feminine, that like we're blinded by that energy. So, when you ask who's supposed to lead in a relationship, that is dependent on your household. And the reason why I say this is because I'm not going to put every household in the same category, because you have to write those rules with your partner when it comes to what kind of relationship you're in.
So it's like a beta man is led by his woman, right?
So,
or not led, but what's the difference between alpha and beta?
Okay, so alpha is going to be more traditional masculinity that we, hear about. It's going to be very direct. It's going to be strategic. It's going to be, we use the word leadership. It's going to be control. It's going to be the force to be reckoned with, right? The leader of the pack. When it comes to beta energy, that's going to be more emotionally in tune. They have more feminine energy to offer. And that's going to be softer. They're going to be more understanding, more caring. And the challenge is that
you paying for shit. Yeah. Beta.
The challenge is that when we don't know self,
you paying for shit.
They gonna be more softer. You gonna pick up the bill. You gonna swipe your card. You gonna buy the Chanel.
But he gonna rub your feet at the end of the night.
I can't let you put that out there.
Okay, I'm kidding. Y'all know I'm a comedian. I'm kidding.
I can't let that
I'm
ride.
kidding.
A lot of
Don't
women,
listen to me.
A lot of women belong with beta men.
Yeah.
And so I have to put that out there, because I don't want
I'm just kidding.
I don't want people to think that they're not with a real man, or that they have to pay for everything if they're with a beta. So
but they let their woman take the forefront.
They let their woman operate more in their masculine energy. And so oftentimes we will get, and what I work with the most when it comes to my singles and my couples too, is this very masculine energy driven alpha woman.
Okay.
I am naturally a masculine energy driven alpha woman.
Is your husband beta or alpha?
My husband is extreme alpha king Kong of the Jamaican jungle.
Like the Jamaican.
I am man, hear me roar. Yes. Stacey is the best thing since sliced bread.
Tarzan, sweetie, we own Disney.
Yes.
No, for sure.
Really, really quick, KFS fam, before we go on, it's your girl B.Simone, and I gotta let you know I'm going on tour, baby girl, baby boy. Come see me on tour. Stand-up comedy, me, just hilarious. D-Ray Davis, so many more comedians are gonna be on this show. You guys, we're hitting Nashville, Newark, Columbus, Detroit, Cleveland, Greensboro, Chicago, Kansas City, Tampa, Orlando, St. Louis, ATL, New Orleans, Charlotte, Columbia, Philly, Miami, Houston, Dallas, Norfolk, Baltimore, DC, y'all. The list goes on and on. Get your tickets now at bmnshows.com. That's B as in boy, M as in Emma and M, N as in Nancy, shows.com. bmnshows.com. Get your ticket. Come see me on tour. I love you guys. Back to the show.
Okay, so he's super alpha.
Super alpha. And I knew, based on what I wanted for my love life and knowing myself, that the only way for me to be compatible with a alpha, masculine, energy-driven man was for me to soften and sit back in my feminine energy. Because I run my own business, and I'm bossy. I grew up with a bossy mom. Like, I'm used to being direct and getting my way, so I am that way professionally. And then, with my friends, I only hang around with other bosses because we understand each other.
Entrepreneurs,
yeah. So understanding, though, that I am best built for, though, an alpha king, and that's what I will respect. I had to understand where I can soften. And part of the softness comes from healing why I lean more into my wounded masculine energy and my wounded feminine energy so that I could become in my natural feminine. And I have to put this else out there. We are born with both energies. So when I'm talking about masculine and feminine, I'm not talking about gender.
Right.
We think that it's like the sex that you were born with.
No.
That's not what this is. Everybody is born with both energies. But based on the environment that you grew up in, based on your household, based on your genetic composition,
You exude one or the other more.
You exude one, or see, you do remember stuff from the class. So understanding like it helps with your makeup and like understanding like this is who I am. You also have to decide like, can I really soften to have what I want? Remember how it goes back to what's the goal? Can you override the emotion that you're feeling in this moment?
For the end goal that you're saying you desire.
And what I wanted, because I didn't get the consistent male figure in my household, was I wanted the strong masculine energy to provide balance to my life because I love being taken care of. Like, I'm gonna say it, being taken care of is the best. I've been independent and I've been taken care of, and I'm gonna go with being taken care of every single time. And what I mean by that is not having to do everything myself. I don't want to lift heavy shit. I don't want to mow the lawn. I don't. So I'm talking right now about traditional gender roles. This is I'm talking about that.
Right.
And what I mean by that is also, I don't want to have to pay the mortgage every month. I want to be able to pay for what I want to pay for.
Yeah.
And when you have masculine energy male, and not to say that my partner doesn't expect contribution, because I think this year I'm going to make more than him because he helped me build my business, and so now I'm doing good. I provide more financially than I ever have, and I don't mind it because he held me down for so long. But I never wanted to be the person that was like the main sole provider, and me having a partner who was living off of me. I like the way that our foundation has been set up, but that's not for everybody. I was intentional in what I wanted and who I wanted and how I wanted my child also to be reared. I wanted my child to grow up with a very strong Capricorn energy. Shout out to Capricorns, because me and my husband are both Capricorns. I wanted this very strong masculine energy. And so I understood that in order to be in partnership with that, I can't be masculine energy when I'm not in the workplace.
So you feel like a boss.
Go ahead.
Like a boss woman like us, or entrepreneur, or we walk in our masculine a lot, right?
Yeah, we sure do. Because it serves us. It actually serves us.
Right. How do you
learn to pivot?
No, I know what you're saying, because I feel like I know.
I feel like I want an alpha male.
Okay.
Right? So how
there's
I
want.
Like,
right. So there's want.
Right. You with me?
There's want.
No beta. No. I feel like I want an alpha male. I'm gonna say I feel like, because I really don't know. I really don't know after this episode. I am so lost. You have to date a beta
to be able. I feel like you need to date both.
So
okay. So then you can measure the difference between.
Alpha,
I just want everybody to try both so that they don't make a decision based off of limited information.
Wait,
let me just
okay.
Hold it, please. But I feel like women who walk in their masculine, if they date an alpha male but they make more money than him,
is that a threat to the man?
That's the issue I'm having.
Okay.
I'm dating broke niggas, obviously. That think they're alphas.
Or just men that just don't make more money than you.
Right.
They're not broke.
So I hear you when it comes to like.
If I gotta buy the flight,
I hear you when it comes to
if
dollar
you don't get your ass on the Greyhound at this point, I'm sick of swiping my card. Yes, they are broke. I just be loving men for who they are. I gotta stop that. I'm sorry.
Okay, so give me the question. Is the question, can I make more money than my man?
I feel like if you walk in your masculine and you're dating the alpha and you make more money than him, they're always going to be insecure, and that is very hard to find and do.
Okay, so
because they're an alpha man.
So what does us making more money look like? And what I mean by that is, how do you show up in making more money, right? It's like your identity around you being a boss and you paying for stuff and making him feel emasculated in that process.
That's okay.
And I'll stop back to my self-determination. If you understand what motivates him, you will know how to make him feel like, man, hear me roar, even though you have money, right? And so sometimes it looks like getting his decision when you're weighing in on like things that you are purchasing. You don't really need to ask permission. I don't need to ask permission for nothing. But I understand what the illusion of asking his opinion makes him feel.
Right.
It's the same way as if like I want to, throw you a party or something like that, and I make you feel included on like the color scheme and all that. But really, I know we're gonna go with my brand colors. It's just like it makes you feel a part of it. In a relationship?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna do my son's birthday this weekend. I wanted so because we did a jungle theme, it was safari. I wanted the entire living room redone with fake grass. So I wanted all my furniture moved into the office, and I wanted him to lay out fake grass. First answer was no. So understanding his masculine energy and that he operates very much in logic, and he's also very left brain, and also comes from like the consulting, like engineering business world, because I have done my research. My partner needs to understand the benefits of why the grass made sense, okay? And I also need to present like pricing, and I understand what he needs before I give him the information. So in rebuttal to his no, because he always says no first, I told him, okay, well, I think it's a good idea because of these 5 reasons, all right? It's almost like a PowerPoint presentation every time, because my husband's also very frugal. So gave him those reasons, and he was like, the answer's still no. What did I say? And I said, you know what? I respect your decision, baby. You're probably right. If you could find a solution for this, I would appreciate that. However, I respect your decision anyways. Walked away, circled back. Next day, he's at Home Depot getting my grass, okay? And now I'm like, well, in addition to the living room, I also need the deck done. Absolutely not. That's even more work. And I'm like, you know what? Once again, you're probably right. It's not even going to look good. Then give him a second to think it over, and he's like, well, let me just roll it out and see what it looks like. So he rolls it out, he starts hammering away and sticking all the grass down, and he's like, dang, I'm so happy I thought of this. It was a really good idea. And my response was, I'm so happy you thought of it too, boo.
You're so smart.
You're making this party the bomb. And pat him on the back, okay?
She just played this nigga.
So it's not playing him.
You know, yeah, I get it. You finesse.
It's giving him the space to think about it. And what happens, and this is the first mistake that we make, is we want to debate back and forth.
Yeah, argue and tit for tat.
Even when it comes to arguments, we want the memory and we want them to recall what really went down and what really happened. So we get lost in the distraction of the argument.
Every detail. I remember it all. I remember what you said, when you said it, where you was at, what time.
Megan remember everything.
You want to go in on this is what happened. Okay?
Yeah.
So, and I could have done the same thing. I could have said, well, you promised me like I could get this for his, party and this, or you promised me you would let me have full. Like I could have gone there. But the problem with that is now he has to defend himself. Now he has to tell me, why I'm wrong, and I now put him in a low vibrating energy. Either I'm bringing up, I'm frustrating him. I'm putting him to a vibration of disappointment. I'm also sitting in my masculine energy if I fight him, right? And I'm never going to outman a man. So because I'm not going to ever beat him at being a man by pumping my chest, I have to give him time to think about the decision that he made. And we don't lend any time for him to sit in like saying, was I too harsh with my wife? Was I being stubborn? Was I being difficult? Let me just think, let me just look and see what the prices could be if I could find a cheaper, cheaper grass somewhere else to lay this out. And so we lose and waste so much time trying to be right as women and defend ourselves because we feel like this is unjust or, I'm being understood, or I'm being misunderstood. And because I feel so passionate about being misunderstood, and you always misunderstand me, we fucking lose the war. You can't go to war, because oftentimes too, because we don't understand self-regulation and we're not professionally trained in self-regulation, we will succumb to our emotions. And we start getting into a state where our emotions take over and they take over logic. And now we're operating from a place of upset, fear, hurt. Our feelings get hurt.
It's ego.
Yeah.
I feel like that is being selfish. Like
the way you feel or
you're not thinking about the end goal, you're just thinking about how you feel and how it affected you.
Correct.
But you're not thinking about the end result, like you said. Like what do you want the end result?
My goal is to get this
My
party.
goal is I want grass on here.
Right.
So I got to figure out a way to make or to get him to agree to the grass to be in the living room, whatever.
Right.
So I'm going to remove my ego and how I feel and be strategic about how I present this.
Correct.
Instead of being defensive and all of that, operating in your
and
life.
men naturally want to problem solve. Like it's innate. They were born
They
to want to problem
feel good
solve.
after they
But
solve it.
I don't even give him time to problem solve for me if I'm going in on him and what's wrong with him as a man and why he always does this. Like if I start bringing up, because we'll also do that. We'll start.
That was me.
We'll start bringing up the past.
Look in the mirror, nigga. Look at you. With that big ass. Oh, you get a. That's Jesus.
Be like, you like looking at yourself?
Do you?
Because God, I hate
Oh,
it.
that was me.
We will start bringing up old mess too.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't let me get my way for my birthday, so the least you could do is do it for our son. And now we've completely just taken the main focal thought and the point of what we were bringing to them and made it a completely different argument.
So we just need to become smarter and study and learn.
We are smart. We need to sit in our intelligence.
Yeah, but learn how to use it. Nobody
Correct.
teach the stuff you've said and taught me, or in the past. I've never heard this stuff before I met you.
What's up, you guys? Really quick before we move on with the show, y'all already know for the KFS family, we got promo codes after promo codes after promo codes. And look, what's on my lips? B.Simone Beauty, baby. Right now, I got on Time Will Tell liner with Baby Boy and a little bit of detox. Mix it in. B.Simone Beauty gloss, all on the lips. Use the promo code KFS20. Okay, for our KFS family, it's KFS20. 20% off a B.Simone Beauty and get your lips to look like this. KFS20, all caps. Back to the show.
This is why I'm
most
here.
women aren't masculine and feminine and walking in your feminine. We're not having those conversations to even know how to do that in a healthy way.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I have a question, because I feel like being introduced to more women that are heavier in their masculine energy, boss women, entrepreneurs, obviously with me coming into this space, I'm entering into that space now, right?
Welcome.
So,
Welcome, queen. It's the best.
so what I hear a lot is, and what I feel, the energy, I feel like a lot of women, so I have a two-part question, so just remind me the two-part question. The first part of this is, there are so many women who are becoming entrepreneurs, who are becoming very successful, who are making a lot of money and making more money than men in some areas, right? I hear a lot and feel a lot that women don't feel like they need a man anymore. And it's like, because I can provide on my own. Like you said, like, I like being taken care of. And you were like, I don't want to cut the grass. I don't want to take the trash out. And I feel like nowadays women are like, I'll fucking hire somebody to do that.
Right.
I don't got to cut my grass. And I
Right.
also don't have to deal with a nigga.
Right.
I don't have to
have either.
I don't have to have.
Yep,
I don't
yep,
have to sacrifice either. I can do it on my own.
Yep.
And I have enough healthy relationships platonically that fills my love tank, and that I don't need that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need that. I don't have to have that. I'm okay. I feel like more women are okay with not having it now than they ever have before,
been.
because they're getting shit on their own.
Because it wasn't a necessity.
And it's not a
Right.
necessity.
Historically, it was.
Necessity.
They needed them to like survive.
Yeah, and if it's like, if a man provides, right? If a man in his full alpha, I guess, energy is the provider, and he's the protector, and he's this alpha male, but he's not a beta man where he's emotional, sensitive, attentive, right? Because he operates more in his masculine. Not to say that he doesn't have
do
any,
that.
but I'm just saying, just for example purposes, if he operates more in that alpha masculine energy and doesn't have any of the beta feminine energy, right? If I'm a woman and I'm in a relationship with a man and you've provided because you've operated out of your alpha. Now I'm getting the bag. Right? So I don't need you to provide that. So
Okay, so
now,
that's my setup. Okay.
So now the other part of me that I was willing to sacrifice when you were providing financially, the emotional aspect, that now I really need that, because I don't need your money.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
So I feel like women are finding themselves in that place.
Correct.
Right.
Where it's like, I don't need that.
Right.
Ooh, I love this point. You
Right.
I love
And
where
if
you're
you're
bringing
super
this. I love
fulfilled
where
in
you're
your
bringing this.
career and your platonic relationships and everything else, it's
I'm
like,
as a relationship expert, are you experiencing that? Are you hearing that, or am I just?
do you agree with that? Do
So,
you feel like you could still?
Let's dive into that, because I love this notion that we don't need a man anymore. So part of what you're bringing up is like us being responsible adults. The fact that you can take care of yourself, I don't title that I'm independent, okay? What I call that is adulting. Okay, great, you can pay your fucking bills, you should be able to. Great, you could pay your car note, you could pay, like, that's adulting. When we're celebrating independence, I feel like that means that, like, You no longer need to rely on someone else. And the problem with not relying on someone else to meet your needs on an intimacy level, while you feel like you're filling your cup up with these other relationships, friendship, family, and maybe you have some homeboys and stuff like that, and you're like, well, I don't need a man, I don't need a man. You're desensitizing yourself from operating in your feminine energy. And so part of what happens in relationship with that masculine alpha, right, is you also numbed yourself from the feminine energy that was supposed to bring him into his femininity. So what I mean by that is I'm with extreme alpha and I am alpha, but I have softened because in order to feel the love and the nurturing that I want from my relationship, I have to be in my feminine to get his feminine out. But if I have stayed in my masculine and not practiced my feminine, now that I make more than him and he can't, maybe I don't need him so much to do all that he's done, now, like, he's lost his value? No. Along the process, I have been nurturing him into his softness, into his flexibility, into his allowing. And that's what feminine energy is. Feminine energy is love. It is relaxed state. It is free flow. And so instead of him not evolving and staying stuck, I have evolved from being in masculine to feminine. And now I have trained him and helped guide him to become more on the level where I now feel loved, cherished, adored. And those are more feminine energy emotions that I had to get him there. But I never could have done it if I only depended on him for the traditional masculine things that he was providing. And part of what's happening to us as a society, as women, is when we tell ourselves, like, we don't need him, we're losing that balance in the household of a balance between masculine, feminine. And
so that was my other part of my question. Because women are having babies. Either
Back to
on their own.
Your goal for spicy.
Yeah. So either on their own, or like I talked about in the other episode, you're having babies with a man that you know is not good for you, but you want to have the same baby daddy, or you want to have a look. Or you want to, you know, whatever that looks, whatever the case may be. I feel like we're seeing a lot of that now too. And so as far as as part of your program and your goal to restore the family union, what do you have to say about what we're, because it's like a trend now. Like women are just like, I'll just go get a surrogate and I'll have a surrogate. Like I don't need to do.
For sure. I am not here for staying in any relationship that is not healthy. So if you partnered with somebody who is unequally yoked, or they aren't a great example, or it's a toxic relationship, you need to assess along the way of being in a relationship with them if you can guide them. Not every person is guidable. So there's things that you test
to evolve
or want to evolve,
and maneuver, and
correct. There's things that we test along the way, especially for my single parents that come to me, that when they present me with like, well, this guy who I'm dating, I need help assessing. It's like, okay, well, these are the things that we put in place to test or to measure whether he is guidable or not to emotional vulnerability or availability.
Oh, like give me a little test.
So something as simple, something as simple, because the goal is not for us to just be these docile women who submit. The goal is to be in your feminine energy to get him to submit. It needs to look both ways. I don't believe in one-sided submission. I submitted to you and I didn't clap back when you told me no about the grass. So I expect submission in return for my submission. You too need to soften, sir. And if they don't soften when you ask for something, as simple as something as basic as take me to the LA airport. I know I could get an Uber, but I want to kiss you goodbye, okay? That's an inconvenience on my partner. But in those moments where I'm soft with him and I ask him and I tell him what it means to me, when you take me to the airport, it makes me feel so loved because you go out of your way and it's not convenient for, your work schedule, but getting to kiss you as, the last time I get to see you before I take off really warms my heart and makes me feel so good, okay? So we have to say the act that we want them to do and the way that it will make us feel so that there's a return on their investment. When we do that and then we get to see them soften in those moments and they oblige, that is them submitting. What we're not giving our partners credit for is the submission. We want submission to look like our submission, and it doesn't always look like them backing down or sometimes it looks like them just saying yes to us for things that they don't feel like doing,
right?
Which they do all the time,
right?
And so we have to give credit where credit is due. When we see the act performed and he's like, okay, fine, I'll take you to the freaking airport even though I don't want it. Who cares how he said yes? Who cares if he really wants to do it from the goodness of his heart? All I care is that I got my way and I got my kiss before I took off. And then what we do once he drops us off at the airport is we reiterate to him how much we appreciate it and how in return for this service, we're going to make sure that he gets whatever it is his need met.
And he skirts off. Get over next time, bitch.
This sounds like trying to talk to my 8-year-old.
Yep.
Like, I feel like I'm talking to a child.
Yep.
Okay.
The idea of it, like, okay. Like, I feel like I'm pacifying. It feels like pacifying to me.
We feel you, and you probably feel like that, and that's a natural, like, when you're
I
hearing
think
this.
she's doing it more a psychology way, like knowing how a man's brain works.
Human.
No, yeah,
knowing how humans.
No,
It's the same way with women.
Or how we're wired. Like, when you know
we do the
that.
same thing to women. My husband does it to me. I do it to him, right? Because, like, he's gone through the entire S.P.I.C.Y program now. So he's like, I know what you're doing to me, but I'm going to take it because I want da-da-da-da-da.
He's like, I know what you're doing.
Your reference to it feeling childlike. You have to take into account that nobody taught your husband how to be a husband in a healthy way. Nobody taught your husband the things that you want from him. You are his teacher. So the idea or the notion that I want someone to come fully packaged and prepared, ready to go, I don't want to have to raise another person. I'm not saying raise a person. What I am saying is that there will be teaching and responsibility on your end when you sign up for responsibility. The same energy that you put into helping her become the best version of herself, give that same energy to your man, because if she asks you for a favor, or if B asks you to do something for her that's inconvenient, or she doesn't understand something, you're more sensitive to it. You give her some grace. But when it comes to pouring into our partner, because we are sometimes unhealed from things that they have done, we're like, no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna be stubborn in this moment and punish you the way you punished me last week. And this is why we have to have such a forgiving heart and do the healing work, and sometimes get the coaching or the counseling that we need, because we can't get to the next level of our relationship because we are tapped out. We feel like, I don't want to have to be a better person for him today. I don't want to have to override giving him a mouthful. And at the end of the day, okay, so you're just going to stay miserable and not evolve him because he's learning a skill set that he will also pour back into you. He is also going to mirror your behavior if he's guidable. If he's not guidable, throw him the hell away.
So what does that look like?
If he's not guidable, throw him away.
If he's not a guidable man, what does that look like? And how long are you operating in this period of grace before you're like,
great
right,
question.
nigga,
So B asked for an example. She said, give me an example of what like guidance looks like, right? Of what him submitting to you looks like. So the airport example or the grass are examples of when like he said yes. He submitted to something that he wasn't crazy about. You have to look for those things. Does he submit to me when he doesn't feel like it? And if every time he is difficult, if every time he is stubborn, if he never says yes to you and you're always saying yes to him, this is a one-sided relationship. And I am not getting my love cup poured into. You are reaping all the benefits of me, sir, and I'm not getting nada. Like, you're not gonna soften at all.
You heard that, Latina. I'm not getting nada.
Like,
I'm not getting nada.
You'll not give me you don't give me nothing.
Like nothing. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not here for that. Because
But
you're
what does
getting
that
all
look
of
like?
this.
What does that look like?
It
Is there
looks
a
like
moment
no's.
of it just like
It looks like no's. It looks like you feeling dissatisfied.
No, I'm saying what does it look like for a woman to leave an unagreeable man? Is there like, when does the grace period, because you're like, okay, like we're kind of motivating them.
You will realize when you've been there too long when you don't like who you are with him.
Jesus
I don't like how you bring me out of my character. I don't like who I am. I don't like that
I am pissed
angry.
off at the thought.
I'm a happy person.
I don't like
and
me
when I'm with you, I'm
with you.
unhappy like all the time. My friends are saying I'm a bitch more, or like my family doesn't want to spend as much time with me anymore, or I feel like I'm always feeling anxiety, or
heavy,
I'm never good enough. Like when those kind of things are weighing on
much.
you.
That's a word.
You aren't who God created you to be. You are no longer able to, in a healthy way, complete the mission or walk in your purpose, because your gifts are being spent trying to convince someone to see your light. Versus letting them go and finding someone else who recognizes it. And light recognizes light. So if that person is dimming you, you have now been overpowered and they have guided you to darkness.
Jesus Christ.
Let them go. Go find the person who recognizes your light. Do you know how many men I had to go through before my husband?
Hold on.
Hold on.
Give me a
Because
minute.
Megan about to take it to the Bible. Y'all know she about to pull up Genesis 6 and 6. I don't know the word.
First
she know the word.
Corinthians 2:16.
I'm not about to say
Megan
nothing.
about to
But
be like,
she
because
said,
Job did say
she
to Joseph.
said, now they have led you
To the darkness.
To the darkness.
You don't even like who you are. Yeah. Yeah. And you can't walk in your
You will
purpose.
see a lot of
And
relationships
fulfill
like
God's
that.
will for your life.
Correct.
Because it's an endless journey. You should always be growing, evolving, and your purpose can change, can grow. Like, you weren't always a mom. You have a 1-year-old. Now that's part of your purpose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
My son will take over, hopefully, the Spicy Life Wednesday and help other people find love or, connect more effectively in their relationships. And if not, that's okay.
Yeah.
He can do what God destined him to do, but he for sure is going to be like equipped with the tools to have a healthy relationship. And so when it comes to understanding like time is up for me in this relationship, sometimes we aren't hurt enough. Sometimes we have to get to a place where we are so hurt that we will not go back anymore. I can't take any more pain, and now I'm really out. But what we will do, because we want to test our partner, is we will like pretend to break up or pretend to be out, hoping that they beg for us back, so that way we get that like
That feeling.
emotional fix of them fighting for us.
Yeah.
And so we stay a lot longer than we should, wasting our time, wasting our youth, wasting our energy. And now we start operating, once again, I'm going to go back to it, in our wounded feminine. And when we sit in our wounded feminine, that is very fear-based energy. That looks like us sitting oftentimes in jealousy. That looks like us sitting in like also wanting to be also in control. And it looks like us emotionally manipulating our partners so that we can get our needs met. When we are also sometimes shifting into our wounded masculine, that looks like us becoming extremely competitive with them. There's a lot of things that we aren't even understanding that shift when we're not in like a whole and healthy place, and our partner has started to destroy us. And so we went with it with good intentions. Like, I thought my love would be enough for him. He don't even love himself enough to love you. What are you doing? Like, you have a savior complex, which a lot of us, women, it's innate. We want to nurture, we want to help, we want to grow. But guidance doesn't always have to look like you pour everything into this person until you have nothing
Like
left
pain.
to give. Yeah, it doesn't have to be painful 24/7, and it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be.
There will be pain in a relationship, but not 24/7.
Yeah.
Okay, so
hold on, you gotta save it because
I know. I seen the time.
Ooh, we gonna have to do a part 2 now.
we got to do a part 2, but in the part 2, I want to ask you: is there a difference between compromising and sacrificing, and what that looks like?
In the way you explain it,
I'll tell you how
her.
I see it, and then you tell me as a relationship expert. But yeah,
There's a huge difference.
Okay.
Can I say real quick?
No, wait.
I know.
You guys, we'll be back.
You guys,
We'll be come back.
Woo, come back
'Cause
next week. This could be. It's like Jesus. I know nothing. On part 2, we're going to have her give us some books to read. We're going to go into that because y'all know sacrifice and
compromise. I have a thing about that, yeah.
The difference between that. We're going to talk about that on the next episode, y'all. We're going to give y'all part 2 to this. And on the next part 2, we're going to invite my homegirl, our baby, Brandy Vine.
Yeah, she pulled up on us. So.
She pulled up on us. She wants to talk about her relationship and all the stuff she has been through in her relationship. She actually was engaged and is no longer. And we are going to talk about why and all of the red flags that you women should look at up front, okay? So we are going to have a part 2 on the Know For Sure podcast. Whew. You guys, I'm B.Simone.
Megan Ashley.
And I'm Spicy Mari.
Spicy Mari. We'll see y'all next week on part 2. We'll finish this conversation. Thank you for being here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Know For Sure podcast. Make sure you keep the conversation going and use our hashtag KnowForSurePod.
Yes, we want to see you guys share the hashtag KnowForSurePod on all social media platforms. We want to keep the conversation going.
Keep it going. Go to the website, KnowForSurePod.com, and follow us on all social media platforms, Instagram and Twitter, KnowForSurePod.